I like big boats, and I cannot lie. And they don't get any bigger than the ones inside Bremerton's Mothball fleet. But Bremerton's Mothball fleet is fleeting. Hello everyone, and welcome to this special edition of the Bremerton Beat Vlog. I'm standing here with Ed Friedrich, our intrepid military affairs reporter. Hello, Ed.
Hi, Josh.
Okay, so today we're going to tell you a little bit about the Mothball fleet. These vessels that are behind us are 1,000 feet long, 97,000 tons of displacement. They're huge, and there's probably not a bigger collection of them in the world. There are many ships in the Mothball fleet. 4 of them happen to be aircraft carriers. That has been reduced to 3 after the USS Constellation left for Texas this last fall. Now, Ed, the Constellation is a pretty storied vessel. You happen to know a story about what happened to the Constellation early on in life.
The Constellation was still being built, almost completed, in Brooklyn Navy Yard when a forklift knocked over a sheet of steel, which broke open some diesel and spilled all over the ship. Ignited, took 17 hours to extinguish it, and before it was done, 50 shipyard workers were killed.
A really sad way to begin, but of course the Constellation went on to be a very proud vessel. In 1981, Ronald Reagan declared her America's flagship, and she was decommissioned and brought here, I believe, in 2003. Next up we have the USS Ranger. Ranger, too, has a very proud history. It's also a member of the Forester class. These all predate the nuclear reactors that you would currently find in aircraft carriers. The Ranger was commissioned in 1957, involved in the Vietnam War and the Persian Gulf, and of course it has some very famous movies that it was involved in, including Top Gun and my favorite, Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, in which Chekhov radios Captain Kirk to say that he's found the nuclear vessels, but he claimed it was the Enterprise. It was actually the Ranger. And it's funny that we mention the Enterprise because if all these boats go, there's one that's going to possibly come here. Right, Ed?
The Enterprise has been decommissioned. It's the first nuclear-powered carrier to be retired. It's on the East Coast getting stripped, and when that's completed, it will be towed all the way around to Puget Sound Naval Shipyard, which is the only one that could take all of its nuclear components apart, and that will probably be in about 2018 or 2019.
Okay, all right, next up on our list is the one that we're standing right in front of right now, the USS Independence. It is the 4th and final of the Forester class. Basically saw combat just about anywhere the Navy was involved. Bay of Pigs invasion, formed the blockade during the Cuban Missile Crisis, Vietnam, of course, the Lebanese Civil War, and Operation Southern Watch, in which we instituted a no-fly zone over Saddam Hussein's Iraq. She was decommissioned in 1998. The last carrier we want to talk about is the one that most recently arrived, the Kitty Hawk. And Ed, there's something unique about the Kitty Hawk, right?
It's pink.
It is pink. And why is it pink?
I have no idea. But when you drive into town, it's the second one, the Independence here on the end. And you do notice a pinkish brown tinge to it, and we aim to find out what's behind that.
Okay. Now, it also happens to be the last oil-fired carrier. They went nuclear after that, correct?
That's right.
And did her twilight years in Japan and was decommissioned in 2009. Now, the other boats, the Constellation, the Ranger, and the Independence, are all going to Texas to be dismantled. But the Kitty Hawk has a chance to be a museum and faces somewhat of an uncertain future, right, Ed?
The Navy, that's right, Josh. The Navy isn't sure what will happen yet, although it knows it needs to keep it on reserve status as it is now until the newest aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford, becomes available. And then at that point it will decide whether to adopt it out as a museum or take it back down to Texas and scrap it with all its pals.
Okay, and there you have it, folks. So enjoy the Mothball fleet while it lasts, and thank you for watching.